6, curate your friends. 7, curate your environment. 8, keep your promises. 9,
Michael Saylor live.
be cheerful and constructive. And 10, upgrade the world. So, let's talk about upgrading the world. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about the topic of our discussion, which is thermodynamic savings. You talked to me about a little bit about the importance of energy, maybe the rules of thermodynamics and how they impact Bitcoin and how we should think about it.
Okay, well, I think those rules are interesting because those are thermodynamically sound rules for life. When you say curate your environment, focus your energy, it's all about not dissipating energy. Keep your promise is exactly what Bitcoin does. Stay cheerful and constructive is the Bitcoin message, which is Bitcoin fixes things, Bitcoin can help everybody. The reason that Bitcoin is so sound, literally sound, is because it's thermodynamically sound. And it's this masterpiece of engineering because we've created a monetary asset where we've stripped away all the counterparty risk. And so the idea that I want to create a digital equity without equity risk, and I want to create a digital commodity without commodity risk, and I want to create a computer network without computer risk. And I want to create something which is so simple in its essence that there aren't many moving parts left to break, and yet it's so powerful and profound in its promise that everybody in the world and everything in the world can plug into it and benefit from it, is what makes Bitcoin special. And the whole idea behind those rules for life and the idea of Bitcoin is that they're essentially the same. They're in a world where everyone is dissipating their energy. The most rational strategy is to conserve your energy. Conserve it. And Bitcoin is the ultimate conservative thing. We're moving in a world where we can't trust the data and we can't trust the networks. And brain power is about to become a commodity where AIs can generate billions and billions of fake people. And so the real promise of Bitcoin is it's a network that is backed by pure digital power, measured in exahash, 350 exahash. And that digital power is something that can't be spoofed, can't be hacked, can't be tricked. There's no way to take a shortcut through it. If you have 100 gigawatts of power and 100 million mining rigs, you might just slow it down, but it would take you 10 years to slow it down. So what Satoshi created is the world's most secure database, accessible via the world's most secure network. And we're living in a world where everybody wants security. You want to call it financial security, national security, cyber security, social security. If you want security, you need to find the most secure network or the most secure resource on Earth. And it's not gold anymore, and it's not land anymore, and it's not anything that can be created by any human being anymore. It has to be something that is transcending all of those human institutions and all human motivations. In essence, it needs to be a network that runs without human intervention. And that is what Satoshi created when Satoshi created Bitcoin.
Bitcoin does change though. So we think about the past year, not only has Bitcoin changed in certain ways and the potential optionality of it, but the broader environment around Bitcoin has changed.
Yeah, I think the past 12 months have been very auspicious. What we're seeing is clarity is coming to the entire crypto space. And the clarity is Bitcoin is a commodity, an asset without an issuer. It is ethical. It is stable. It is virtuous. And the rest of the crypto ecosystem, the crypto exchanges, the cryptocurrencies in the form of stable coins, the crypto tokens, the other crypto applications, they're all being viewed with increased skepticism. And there's an awareness that Bitcoin is not crypto. There's an education process where all the regulators, all the legislators, all the media figures, all the investors are realizing the benefits of the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an asset without an issuer. And now they're beginning to realize why Bitcoin is a commodity. And the reason why it's a commodity is because it is backed by digital power. And so the appreciation for Bitcoin's energy use and Bitcoin's computational power is growing. The confusion between Bitcoin and crypto is shrinking, disappearing. Capital is flowing from the crypto ecosystem into the Bitcoin network. Development effort and innovation is flowing from the crypto ecosystem to the Bitcoin network. There's an explosion in development effort on Lightning. There's going to be an explosion in all sorts of other development efforts. Anyone that wants to implement a cybersecurity application is going to have to ask the question, how can there be any security in cyberspace if I don't peg it into the Bitcoin network? It's not built on Bitcoin. Those interested in national security are going to look to Bitcoin to provide cybersecurity in cyberspace for national interest. Those interested in financial security are going to look for the world's most secure database and the world's most secure network, and maybe in that way the most promising crypto network in the world. And it was a very expensive marketing campaign to convince people in Congress, in the Senate, the regulators, and the media that Bitcoin is the world's #1 crypto network, but Bitcoin is also the world's most promising new asset class. But if anything today, if you look at all the utterances of the lawyers, all the talk on Capitol Hill, if you look at all the regulatory publications, if you look at the mainstream media coverage, what's pretty clear is that the consensus today is Bitcoin is an asset, Bitcoin is special, Bitcoin is a commodity, Bitcoin is without an issuer, Bitcoin is here to stay. Bitcoin is the future.
And MicroStrategy has been the biggest proponent on the corporate front of Bitcoin. Now, I attended MicroStrategy's conference the other week to learn more about what MicroStrategy is doing and how they're incorporating Bitcoin with regard to their client offerings. I was incredibly blown away and more bullish than ever about some of the new optionality being created that you all are working on. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it improves the case for Bitcoin?
Sure. MicroStrategy first embraced Bitcoin on its balance sheet, and we used it to fix our balance sheet. And there's a very interesting story there. But the other half of the Bitcoin promise is Bitcoin can fix your P&L. Bitcoin can make your products better, can make your services better. And so one of the most exciting things I've done over the last 12 months is I have actually gotten much more involved hands-on in the development of Bitcoin-related products at MicroStrategy. And one product we rolled out 2 weeks ago, or at least we announced 2 weeks ago, is MicroStrategy Lightning. And the idea there is to allow all of our major brands, all of our customers, the big marketing companies, instead of buying $50 million of advertising and then running banner ads to drive clicks to their websites, we're going to let them buy $50 million of Bitcoin, and then give it away in microtransactions via the Lightning Network to 50 million of their customers to drive traffic to their website. So the promise of Lightning is that it is now possible to move money at the speed of light, to move it for a 1/30th of a penny, friction-free, to settle in a couple of seconds instead of a couple of months. And so if I wanted to do direct marketing where I offer 10 million people some amount of money to show up and become a customer or do a referral, I couldn't do it with a credit card because of credit card minimums. I couldn't do it because of the cost of the transaction. But in a world where you have Satoshis running via Lightning channels and you have a very healthy ecosystem of Lightning wallets, and you have an ethical money, Bitcoin, an ethical commodity, then you can actually build all sorts of interesting employee incentive applications, prospecting applications, customer applications. You can even redefine the product. Like, and if you buy a book on Amazon and you pay for it with a credit card, it gets shipped to you. That was the old way. But the new way might very well be that if you buy the book on Amazon, I'll give you a Satoshi refund, and if you post your review of the book, I'll give you another Satoshi refund, and if other people like your review, I'll send you another Satoshi refund, and if people buy the book based on your review, I'll actually give you a percentage of that. So I could implement customer referral feeds and ongoing community engagement payments that will change the nature of the offering for the company, that kind of puts frequent flyer miles into the obsolete trash bin of history, and we replace them with Satoshis as universal monetary units. And your reward for engaging with me, for buying my product, for working to help support my community is to get immediate compensation. And I see a world, a place where Amazon does that, or Coca-Cola does that, or Nike does that, or McDonald's does that. I don't want McDonald's to give $100 million to a digital marketing company to run banner ads and send you spam emails or whatever it is. I want McDonald's to buy $100 million worth of Bitcoin and offer people Bitcoin rewards when they download the McDonald's apps, when they engage in a McDonald's marketing campaign. And I think if we can get the LVMHs and McDonald's and the Coca-Colas and the airlines and the hotel chains to embrace the idea that the universal frequent flyer mile is the Satoshi, right? And Lightning is the method to deliver that to billions of people. I think it's a chance to get thousands of companies to see the benefits of Bitcoin as a technology and the benefits of Bitcoin to make their products and services better and delight their customers. And I think that will help us expand the ecosystem to the benefit of everybody in the community.
So the functionality of Bitcoin and MicroStrategy's adoption of it and ability to make others understand how powerful and what unique ideas micro payments allow. That's a really interesting concept, and the decentralization of it has immense implications potentially for investment purposes around the decentralization of major centralized advertising firms today, or all kinds of other things. So help me think through what that could mean from an investor's perspective, buying MicroStrategy stock today versus how someone may have thought about it 4 or 5 years ago, and how it's different and how the options may have changed.
Well, before MicroStrategy discovered Bitcoin, we had a P&L. And our P&L was the source of shareholder returns. We had a balance sheet of $500 million that we had accumulated by cash flow over time. But the shareholder looked at the company and said the balance sheet is a liability because $500 million is never going to be worth more than $500 million. You're not going to get a 30% return on $500 million, right? So the cash, the conventional treasury strategy on a balance sheet, and your balance sheet is a liability, and your P&L has to grow faster than the monetary inflation rate. So I think of it as everybody's got a left arm and a right arm, and when your balance sheet is weighed down with cash or sovereign debt, it's like putting your right arm behind your back and you're just fighting with your left arm, and it's really, really hard. And so and then when the Federal Reserve raises the monetary inflation rate from 5% to 15%, every company fighting with the one hand has got to grow 25%, and they're trying hard and they're reaching beyond their fingertips, and when they fail, they crash and burn. And it might be even worse. They might actually say, the $500 million is a liability, so I'm going to give it all back to the shareholders. I'm going to borrow $1 billion. I'll go to negative working capital. And then not only are they fighting with one hand behind their back, but they have a $2 billion weight around their neck. And that's why all these indebted companies fail in an inflationary environment. So when we discovered Bitcoin, we said, well, we're not going to leave the right arm behind our back. We're going to turn the $500 million of liability into $500 million of an asset. The long story short is we went from $500 million of a liability yielding nothing to today we have 140,000 Bitcoin, which is $4 billion plus. And so we were able to convert our balance sheet from a nothing or liability into an asset. And once we did that, we provided our shareholders with a benefit. Because if you wanted to actually buy 10,000 acres of timber, you would buy a company that invested in timber. And if you wanted to buy oil tankers, you would buy a company that invested in oil tankers. And if you wanted to buy Bitcoin and you only had 30 seconds and you wanted $10 million of Bitcoin in your hedge fund, you pick up the phone and say, buy me MicroStrategy because I know they're backed by Bitcoin. And so we provided a on-ramp for institutional capital that allowed them to buy some Bitcoin exposure quick and easy without, the alternative would be 3 to 5 years of vetting and stress and communications. And so we let them do in 3 minutes what would take 3 years. So that was our transition, and over the last 2.5 years, we transitioned from a company with a $600 million enterprise value that was growing fairly conservatively in a very mature business to a company with a $6.5 billion enterprise value, so 10x, that has been growing steadily, throwing off cash flow conservatively. And this is stage 2, I'll get to stage 3. Stage 2 is we showed the world that you don't have to grow 20% a year on the top line to not have to wind down the business, right? 98% of companies can't grow 25% top line. If I told all of you if your salary doesn't go up 20% a year, you're going to fail, and then you all of a sudden have to do that 3-4 years in a row, you're going to have a lot of stress with your customers or your boss or your organization. And so I think that the fiat world without Bitcoin on your balance sheet forces people to try too hard to grow, and the result is they take risk that blows up in their face, or they do bad acquisitions, or eventually they don't quite hit the growth target, and then their stock crashes and the business gets sold off. And the result is a 99% mortality rate. So stage 2 was us using our balance sheet to show that it's okay to have a low growth business as long as you have a high growth balance sheet. Stage 3 is us putting Bitcoin and Lightning into our product offering to offer to our customers. So true innovation, so that we can drive our revenues up, and so we can drive our cash flows up and begin to grow much more rapidly than we have been in the past. And so ultimately the business is all about Occasionally we sell equity when it's accretive to buy Bitcoin. Occasionally we issue debt when it's accretive to buy Bitcoin. Always we sweep our cash flows into Bitcoin. And now we focus on using Bitcoin and Lightning and other apps to grow our cash flows to buy more Bitcoin. And if we actually if we keep innovating on the P&L side, then I think our growth rate will continue to drive our revenues north over the next decade. But we'll get a double benefit because we're reinvesting our cash flows into Bitcoin and we're getting the back end appreciation in our balance sheet, such that, you know, today, if with 140,000 Bitcoin, when Bitcoin moves $1,000, we have $140 million of investment appreciation, which is equivalent to 3 years of after-tax cash flow of 2,000 people working as hard as they can. And so we have managed to fix the business for Bitcoin.
And since the time you made the decision to put that capital into Bitcoin in August of 2020, your stock's up 140% and the market's up 35%. Why haven't more companies done this or considered it? And what do we need to do to get them to more seriously consider this?
I think there's some great milestones coming. I think the FASB accounting of rendering Bitcoin indefinite and intangible has been toxic for conventional CFOs, because if they bought $20 billion of Bitcoin, they could never realize an investment gain, only investment loss. So the current move toward fair value accounting that's being pursued by FASB is very, very bullish and auspicious. And so the first milestone will be the adoption of fair value accounting for Bitcoin sometime in the future. The second, that's a good one. The second one is I think the regulators are hammering over and over again the theme that Bitcoin is an asset without an issue, or it's a commodity. And as the entire mainstream, the crypto community, as they see that Bitcoin is special, they will start to reorganize their portfolios and differentiate Bitcoin versus the securities. I think that's very auspicious. And I think that causes the mainstream investors, as they start to see that Bitcoin is distancing itself, like Bitcoin is going to be the last crypto asset standing in the US, and it's going to be the winner. And they're going to, right now they're looking at this confusing situation. A year ago, it wasn't clear whether it was Terra or Luna or this yo-yo coin or that thing was the winner. And a lot of people didn't even know the difference between Bitcoin and crypto. And I think right now, there's a very expensive campaign being driven by the world to illustrate the difference between Bitcoin and crypto. 12 months from now, I think that most mainstream investors will have seen that Bitcoin is here and embraced, and a lot of the other things that were confusing, that had bad reputation, have been diminished, diminuted, or exited the market. So I think the emergence of Bitcoin as the king crypto commodity, I think will also cause the acceleration of institutional investors and also the acceleration of corporate adoption. Oh, and the third thing, I really should say this, right? The first is the accounting, the second is the asset designation, and the third is the emergence of Bitcoin applications on the layer 2s to the layer 3s, the Lightning applications, even all cybersecurity applications, national security applications, and payment applications, all of those are attracting a new class of technology investors. They know how to buy Google, they know how to buy Facebook and Apple. They see Bitcoin as the emergent technology network and the most secure database and the most secure network. You're going to want to own a piece of that if you're a technology investor. And I think that will open the way for lots of corporate adoption.
I have a very hard time understanding why more people don't own the fastest growing monetary monetary payments and security technology enterprise in the entire world. Growing at a rate of 70% a year, massive amounts of adoption and optionality longer term, and I personally couldn't be more excited about the future of Bitcoin. We personally are as bullish and heavily invested as ever, and we're excited to see where it goes over the next decade, as are you, Michael. So with that, I wanted to thank you very much for your time, energy, and support of amazing technology.
We love you, Michael! We love you! We love you, Michael!
Keep building on Bitcoin, keep educating the public, keep up the faith. I mean, everybody in this room is very inspirational to me. I said in my rules of success in life, curate your friends, and I think I've curated my friends here. Woo! And I hope you will say thank you.
He's gonna get mauled. He gets mauled. It's so funny. Like, I mean, this is crazy. This is like the most people I've ever seen sitting to sit and talk at a conference. I had just walked in the building. I was like, what is everyone here for? They're like, what are you not here for? Michael Saylor, let's go, baby. Bitcoin, right, man? Let's go, baby.
Right.
This is my man right here.
Hey,
let's go. Let's do it. Let's go, crypto lifers. Everyone here, you're a crypto lifer. We love you. Woo. Dude, that just got my day started. Michael Saylor, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Man, these are the times to be alive right here, man. These are the times to be alive. Woo. Man, that got me hyped. That got me so hyped right now. Like, wow. Oh. That was amazing. That got me hyped, man. I love Michael Saylor, man. I love watching him, man. I can never get enough. I can never get enough of that. I really can. And I know there's people out there like, Cardano. And I own Cardano 2 cents. I've been following it for a long, long time. Wow, these things are cool. 1:31 p.m. is going to be Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's going to be speaking. That's going to be a big deal. I definitely want to bring you that. That's going to be something that a lot of people are going to be like looking at. So I'm excited to see that too as well. Robert F. Kennedy doing his thing. What time is it right now? What time you got?
What time I have? 1:32.
Oh, he's coming on right now? Oh, wow. This is what everybody's here for. Yo, everybody's here for this right here. RF Kennedy. Yo, man. Changing the world, man, one step at a time. This is going to be a big deal. Let's go, Bitcoin! The energy is just hype right here, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Woo! Yes! Yes! I can cry right now. This is it. This is it. We're about to see RF Kennedy Jr., man. Do you know when he's coming on, Robert Kennedy? Is he coming on soon, Robert Kennedy Jr., right now? Yeah. Is that right?
It's not my bag.
Who is it? I was just sitting there though. I just had to get up for one moment. I'm also pressed.
Yeah, I manage all the press for the conference.
Yeah. Sam Price, Crypto Lifer.
Yeah. I don't know who's back at those.
Okay. Thank you. What's your name?
I'm Mills.
I'm
I
Sam.
manage
Nice to meet you.
Chris,
Sorry,
who
I didn't
does
meet
our
you.
PR.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry.
Glad you're here covering.
That was awesome. That was hype. Damn. Is that your bag by any chance? Okay. What up, Brian? Damn. This could be crazy, man.
My bad, bro.
Oh, it's all good, man.
I put it under this.
We'll be back with R.F. Kennedy Jr. in a second. Stay tuned.